All right, so now we're going to try this again. And let's see how we do here. All
Okay,
right,
we're both right side up.
and
Sounds good.
I don't hear any echo.
Yay!
I don't know why it was doing that. I've never had
That's
it do
so
that to my
weird.
memory. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
We made it work.
We got it. We got it.
Okay.
So, outside validation, something that goes along with certification, and I've had ongoing challenges with this because I think one of the reasons I relate to you is we're more mentally similar.
Yeah.
I don't think you wanted outside validation, and I would dare say that Eric Schiffman's fans probably fall into a closer
I
category.
would say we're generally like free thinkers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like, being told, hey, Robert, you did a good job, or you get a certificate. But the certification process is rife with issues.
Sure.
And I find it really challenging to figure out how to maintain my integrity while at the same time handling issues fundamentally of what's intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so are you when you say you're handling intellectual property, are you trying to defend the stuff that you have made, or like
Well,
what does that have to do with the regulatory piece?
certification
Mm-hmm.
comes from having, essentially, in my understanding in the US, having a trademark and then certifying people in the thing you're doing.
Right.
I have an event called Time Massage Jam that I started
Mm-hmm.
7 years ago. I talked to some students in Arkansas. They didn't know how to sell the Thai massage I was teaching. And I said, oh, you just work with me and run a Thai massage jam. And they said, what's
Mm-hmm.
that? And I said, oh, it's a community bodywork event. You just like teach people or whatever. So 2 weeks later, Thai massage jam pops up in my feed. And I went, whoa, 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 wait a second, wait a second. And they went, well, screw you. You don't own Thai massage. And I went, wait, no, no, but I made an event called Thai massage jam.
Right. That is your thing.
So what I had to do was file the trademark, send out a
Mm.
cease and desist letter. Not that they can't do something similar,
Right.
but that name
The name is yours.
is like
Yeah.
Coke or, whatever.
Right.
Then it's like on other levels of intellectual property, like I've got a free workbook.
Right.
If I want to distribute this and give it away, it's fine. But if
Mm-hmm.
somebody else takes it and starts like giving it
Tries to sell
away,
it.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, let's not,
Um,
right?
I had a local spa contact me here at Austin, and essentially the conversation, and this is how the conversation goes. We want table tie. Okay. Um, I charge $300 for the 2-day training per student. Just send them to me. We can get started. And they said, well, the facility doesn't want to pay because the therapists are contractors. So I said, no problem. Just send them directly to me. And then the conversation turns into, no, why don't you just train me independently and then I'll train them?
Mm.
And I go, you think you can learn how to do what I do in 2 days?
And how to teach it.
Well, it's just massage, right? I mean, he's got a
Right.
license.
Yeah.
And that's the problem because I don't control or own Thai massage. That was never the
Sure.
intention. This has no legal distinction in the United States. Thai massage doesn't mean anything. Let
Mm-hmm.
the buyer beware.
Mm-hmm.
And here was the thing. I had developed so much of what I did over the years. I wrote 700 pages of sequence manuals
Mm-hmm.
and 12 DVDs of core content I still called Thai massage. And I wasn't done. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
make content fast enough. And they're like, dude, you're using this crazy suspension thing and doing this abdominal work and trigger point therapy and myofascial release and yoga therapy and breathing. And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? It's what I do. And they went, well, that's not Thai massage. So there's confusion in the marketplace because they think, well, I could just take somebody else's Thai massage class. I can learn it in 2 days. Now, you can certainly learn pieces. Like I put out information for
Sure.
free for a reason. But without certification, I don't feel like there's quality control.
Oh, yeah. And this is like, I mean, this is this very same issue that's in the yoga world. And I mean, this is part of my issue that I have with the Yoga Alliance is that you have like this one agency that's defining what is yoga. And it's so very broad that there's not any, it doesn't really mean anything at this point. And so you got this one regulatory agency that's like giving a very broad description of what is yoga. And then it's cranking out like thousands and thousands of teachers that are inexperienced and don't really have a great depth of knowledge. They're totally saturating the market. And so they're taking gigs for cheap because they want to get practice or whatever. And then that makes the pay go down for everyone. So you have expert teachers who are getting $15, $20 for a group class. That's not sustainable. So they quit. And then it just like that makes the quality of classes everywhere go down. Which brings in students like, oh, this is all there is to yoga? Well, then I'm going to teach a training. And it just like, there's just this cycle of the quality going down and down and down because there is like, what is the information at the top is just not great.
One of the things I recommend, and I mean this for anybody who's watching, I also mean this for you. I really like what you're doing. My plan is to take your course because I'd like to learn a little bit more about yoga sequencing. And as an educator, I'd also like to see how you've structured things because I pick up bits of how to package curriculum when you have good ideas. I would encourage you as much as possible, spend less time complaining about the alliance.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I for sure agree.
Oh, no, I'm not criticizing you. I mean, I complain about regulation constantly.
I do also, but I mean, for everyone else watching, I also agree. This is part of breaking the cycle is to not like get caught up in like what a dumpster fire it is.
I'm in counseling. My counselor knows about this stuff. So what I notice is this. I think you are an entrepreneur at heart, and I think that you should go direct to consumer.
Sure.
And you should use the internet to push that as far, as fast, as wide as you can. And this is the other part about business, networking, promotion. I can take your stuff and run it through my email list, and there's 7,000 people who can see it. And that's not my YouTube channel. That's not my Facebook page. That's not, my Twitter, everything else. I really like promoting educators who are doing what you're doing, and I'd really like to help promote what you're doing and kind of build with you. I think that the capacity to go direct to consumer is stronger than ever.
Oh, yeah.
And you draw your tribe.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also just to mention for everyone else watching out there is like we mentioned, to not get hung up in like what a mess the Yoga Alliance is or how broken the system is for education. Like, don't get caught up in whatever the next hot certification is. Like, just go find the best education you can. Like, find it through books, find it through the internet, do online courses, talk to a person, take a class. Like, go do it for the value of getting the best education you can, and not because you're going to get a piece of paper about it or someone's going to think it's cool. Like, I don't know. That's the nerd in me talking.
The state of constantly learning.
Right.
Yeah, it just never, the more I teach, the more depth it has. And no matter how many videos I shoot, I can never capture all of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets more and more vast. The students who study with me, they're massage therapists. And then, I mean, I'll give you a quick example, Flissy. This totally cracked me up. In our subscription, I was like, I want to teach yoga. And I'm teaching them body work and business and social media and all this other stuff from a massage therapist perspective. And they said, no, I don't want to learn yoga. I don't like it. I don't, you know. And I was totally crestfallen. I was like, no, but guys. And I went, okay, hold on. Just go into your studio. And I went into my studio, set up my camera, pressed a button. And I'm like, hey, I'm Robert. I'm old. I'm creaky. I did like a sun salute or two, kind of talked them through it, and then did like a little sitting meditation for 5 minutes. And a couple weeks later, the student who said, I don't like yoga, she's like, you know, I watched that yoga stuff you did. It was really cool. Like anybody could do that.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah. What? And I'm like, oh, they don't know. They don't know what yoga is.
I feel like that's the theme right now. I'm like, how would you know? How would you know what yoga is? You could do it with a goat. You're probably got your leg behind your head and a goat. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
But there's more out there than what is being sold. Yeah.
It's this weird thing for me because it would kind of be like, I don't know if this is an adequate example, but geometry, trigonometry, and calculus.
Mm-hmm.
It's all mathematics, but it manifests in different ways. I think that yoga can be like that, but massage is as well. In massage, they always talk about modalities. In yoga, I think they talk about styles.
Sure, yeah, it's the same deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I came in, and it didn't matter who I studied with. I was just like, okay, this works. Put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did that, the massage community went, wait, I don't understand. That doesn't look like massage. And the yoga community went, wait, I don't understand. It doesn't look like yoga. And I go, what are we trying to do here? Like, I'm trying to make better humans.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, that's a big piece missing from lots of practitioners is that they don't know the why behind what they're doing. And you have to like you got to take like 4 steps back to like get to the very foundation of things and then walk them through why what you're doing is important. It takes a little bit of, I think it takes a little extra work, but it will.
I feel
like people get around.
You don't know it until you teach it.
Mm-hmm.
And the students, I was a philosophy student. This leads to me getting in a lot of trouble. The students ask me a question, and I'm like, they have no idea what they just asked. And then I'll ask them a question to answer the question to try to refine. Right. And they just finally go, I hate this guy. Yeah. Because, you know, it's like, okay, you're in a yoga pose. Like, where should my knee be? It's like, well, what are you trying to do?
Well, it depends. That's how mine usually starts.
So I think yours is a little more approachable. I'm still trying to figure out how to phrase it in such a way that the student has a strong, positive, emotional response instead of Robert is just cantankerous.
Like what's happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've also broken plenty of people's brains when I turn the yoga dogma upside down.
Don't make any when you're teaching me, don't make any apologies. just let's go. Like I don't, you know. But I think also one of the things I noticed is I've been teaching group classes. And that's going well, but I don't feel like it has the specificity that I want. So like Robin Johnson just came on. Robin is running a Thai massage jam here in Austin, so we're kind of working together. I talked to her about apprenticeship. She wants to come in, and I do like an initial interview. After the first one I did with another student, Kristen Lumsen, I was like, this is going to change everything. And the reason why is because if you're teaching a group class yoga, it's hard to focus on me. But if you were teaching me in person and you said, Robert, listen, I think your right hip, it's not quite as mobile. So I want to see if we can change this to make it fit what your physical limitations will allow. that is so specific, and it's something that I can't do in group classes.
Sure.
But documenting that on video, I think the students are going to resonate with the instruction faster because it's focused and narrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't yet considered what would happen at documenting the one-on-ones with people, and what kind of information that could provide. Because that, I mean, that is like, that's at the heart of working one-on-one with someone. That, and you're exactly right. You can't do it. I mean, to some extent you can do it in a group class. There are some like really common patterns that people have due to our lifestyle of sitting so much. So there's like some general things that are going to work for most people, but you really cannot get into the weeds about what happens if you turn your foot like 5 degrees a little bit more. What happens? What do you feel then? It's just not, it's not possible in a group class unless you only want to do like one thing.
Yeah, I resonated with Eric and his book and like his style of teaching from that. And I had a student and colleague who took a class with me, and she's like, I don't know about your yoga thing. And she's a Pilates instructor. And from that stance, it's like, it's very specific.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is what we do. And I go, okay, warrior two. and then once I go, okay, you're not hurting your knees. You're not going to break a hip. You're not going to fall over. Basically, it looks like, make it feel groovy.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I mean, in a one-on-one situation, like, you can like get into the details and help people find for themselves, like, okay, like I can see X going on, try Y and see what happens. Yeah. But in a group class, yeah, I'm all for like, okay, like feel it out, like experiment with it. I feel like that is I feel like we're already in total agreement about this, but like teaching people how to do their own practice, that is like my whole deal. And so it is more important for me for people to have an experience of doing a yoga practice than to put it to be like, oh, like I look like Mr. Iyengar. It's more important for me for people to feel something in their postures or in the moving and doing of things than for them to follow some image that I'm trying to make them align with.
See, I think Iyengar, I have a huge amount of respect, and I know that in recent years people have reinterpreted or questioned things he taught. I also feel like Iyengar, if he was still alive, would still be changing it. His commitment to growth just seemed unparalleled.
Yeah, and I think like, towards
revision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only know what I know. And when I'm teaching the body work I teach to therapists, we're taking them off a table, putting them on a mat. They have to learn how to feel with their knees and feet for the first time. Real challenge. It's like putting somebody in triangle pose and going like, lift your toes. And they're like, what? Are you crazy? I want to fall over. So it's like, I'll teach them a sequence. So like when you go through this workbook, there's a little sequence. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people's hips or their ankle mobility or something is off, so they can't do what I'm doing to the model in the workbook. Mm-hmm. And then the model has some sort of hip mobility limitation, so they can't receive what's in there either. Mm-hmm. The students in class, I watch them and go, oh, wait, okay, Marcy, listen, let's put a bolster under their knee so we can make this a little bit easier. And they're like, whoa, you can change it? Right. And I go, guys, what?
Yeah. And I mean, that's probably like the hardest, among the more challenging skills to teach is the power of adapting things. And it is like, it's in two pieces. It's like one, the power to observe what's happening in the body that you're looking at. Two, well, I guess it's like three things. Two, it's like the critical thinking. It's like, what what's the right prop that's going to help this, or what's the technique that's going to address the situation. And then the third one is like some sort of like ephemeral kind of intuition about the situation. And I don't know, that's what I'm super interested in right now, is sort of that process, which I feel like that's something that I've developed for myself and I can do quickly when I'm watching people practice. And I feel like all teachers should develop those skills. And so my long game is to do better at teaching teachers how to do that.
Yeah. Dedication to the craft and the capacity to continually change it. We didn't get our trademark for the name Reboot. It was declined. But one of the reasons I chose that name is I was trying to update. I was trying to change. I was trying to capture this piece of constant, ongoing improvement. Because I feel like a concretized form, I don't even think, I really don't, and you could tell me, you know more about Iyengar than I do probably. You know, did a Iyengar, you know, always make triangle pose exactly the same for everyone? Really?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, that's why he used all those props, right?
And see, and that's the thing. It's like, it's kind of like, to me, it seems like in his early years, and I don't know because I'm not a historian when it comes to him. I feel like he developed that, but then once he got to people like me, he's like, oh man, this white guy, his hips are way too tight. He needs props to try to approximate, to allow me flexibility and strength and time and adaptation to go towards my more perfect form.
Right. And I feel like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that even all of the like more dogmatic teachings that are part of Iyengar influence classes, I feel like all those details about lock out your knee or 90 degrees or fingers together, all of those things are like his transmission of like, this is how I feel the best alignment for me in triangle pose. And so I'm describing those details for that feeling. And I feel like people maybe just ran too far with that and be like, oh, that must mean that you got to have your fingers together all of the time.
Wait, you mean the mystic came in, you know, told everybody to love everybody, and they took everything he said literally?
Yeah, I'm like, everybody just loosen up a little bit. It's gonna be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a vast capacity for continued improvement, but I feel like the practices we're dealing with, unless you push it into biology and physiology, it's an art. It's not just physics, you know, like it's not just physical structures. The way that and this is what I found interesting about the practice. I got into yoga and massage because I'd been in a car accident. I was in horrible pain. And I did yoga to work on my body. And I took 2 or 3 classes. And what I found most profound was, I mean, yeah, it helped with the pain. That was great. But my sense of mental space, my emotions and psychology, it was like, I became like an antenna. It was like I was receptive in a way that before it was like I was blocking out noise in my nervous system. And now the noise is dampened and it moved towards essentially what meditation is. And I went, oh, meditation. That's what those guys were doing when they were sitting. Because as a kid, I remember reading books about Buddhism and I was like, what do you mean they just sit and zone out? Like, really? Like, are you kidding me? What is this? And I didn't know they were doing breathing exercises, lengthening their spine, creating space, you know, to be more receptive to their own sort of being, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of cool stuff there, and I feel like there's so much has been lost in the commercialism of practice that those.
No, no, no. Listen. You said commercialism, and it had that air of disdain.
I know, but yeah, I'm still like, I'm gonna be making bank doing what I'm doing now. So
Yeah, you need things.
I'm gonna be real about the commercialism,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, like, it's a different, like the what is popular in yoga right now is the fancy things and the complicated postures, the like fusiony social events that don't have anything to do with the teachings.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a real space out there for these meditative practices and the contemplative practices and the art of working one-on-one with people. All of those things, there's space.
Yeah.
For people, experts, to be teaching them. And I really hope more people will step up to do that work, because it's better for everyone if we all, like, instead of all these experts that are quitting, like, oh, I'm not going to teach $15 an hour in a yoga studio anymore. I wish more people stepped up and were giving away free content online, teaching courses online, writing books, anything to get that information more available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to compare notes with you and see some of the frustration about regulatory agencies, or however you want to, alliances, certification bodies. I feel it in my industry as well. Primarily, the biggest challenge I had to think about this recently. I don't have problems with clients. The clients get sessions, and Flissy, I'm being completely honest with you. I charge $240 a session for what I do. It's 3 hours long. They usually tip on top of that. I'm making close to $300 a session. Massage therapists in my community are broke. And I'm like,
same in yoga, same.
What is the disconnect here? I'm like, guys, I can teach this to you. Thai massage jam happens every Thursday night. It's $5. And they're like, yeah, but it's not a class, or, whatever complaint. The challenge I have, so like clients, right? Classes is probably the biggest challenge. Retail and online stuff, these ends are going well. The classes are the most challenging. Massage therapists in my industry, okay, they look at what I'm doing and say, that isn't massage. That's a very cruel double-edged sword. Because I go, cool, well, if it's not massage, I don't have to hire licensed massage therapists, and I can hire anyone I want. And they go, oh. And I go, I can go teach the yoga community, right? And they're like, oh. That has been the hardest thing to convey. Because I'm going into an industry that's full of table, cream, glide, and nudity. And I go, get rid of your table, get rid of the cream, get rid of the glide, and get rid of the nudity. And they go, what are you doing? I'm like, the future, the future, you don't understand.
Yeah.
So I would think, the yoga marketplace is so big now. It's so vast. There's tons of room for you to niche down and draw your core audience, build revenue streams, find ways to educate them, allow your stuff to stand out, be able to, and I really like this as a practitioner and an educator, by the way. I try to create a situation, massage therapists at least, usually look at it like, how do I get the clients to come to me? Which is a challenge and a question. What I like to do is flip it and go, no. I want you to select who you work with.
Sure.
And they go, what?
You have to, though. I mean, if you're a massage therapist and you're like, my clientele is people, I'm like, well, how? Like, okay, like, yes, everybody's got a body, but like, if you want to, isn't that like the first rule of business, to be like, who's your ideal client? Like, and then go find those people, bring them to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's going to have a better relationship. Your
Yeah.
like clients are going to match your area of expertise. You're going to be serving the people that you want. You'll be making more money doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not any kind of business expert, but
no, you don't have to be. Don't have to be.
Like, I work on people. That's just like a little general.
Getting students to look at the business portion is probably the most challenging, and at the same time, it brings exponential rewards when they're willing to really look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a tendency to, I'll get frustrated because things aren't how I want it to be. The world is not conforming to my feelings of how it should be. And I go, okay. It's like in a relationship, do you want to be right? Or do you want to make things work?
Mm-hmm.
And from a business perspective, I'm like, okay, Robert, do you want to be right with the public and in your business? Or do you want it to work? And I go, I want it to work.
Yeah.
And I go, okay.
Like the same, like I'll give myself like 20 minutes or whatever to be off with my feelings or vent about the Yoga Alliance. And like, okay, well now I'm
But it's trying to figure out how to convey information in a way that people can pick up and use it.
Yeah.
Very early in my teaching career in yoga, I'm in Central Texas. I did not use Sanskrit terms.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was completely useless to talk about Trikonasana and Virabhadrasana and, Bhujangasana.
It can be very alienating for people, yeah.
Yeah. And the students I was working with. Now, if I worked in a different context, I could see that. But that's what I mean about packaging, communication. I don't think there's fundamentally anything wrong with what I'm teaching. I think that I'm still beating my head against the wall trying to figure out packaging.
Yeah.
Pema Chodron has that famous quote that I love by her where she says that essentially something like, the things that you don't learn, repeat.
Mm.
And I'm like, screw you, Pema.
It's like, oh.
It's like, screw
Ouch.
you. Because in the end, it always goes back, for me, with a yoga practice, meditation practice, I can only control me.
Right.
And what words do I choose to use? How do I choose to interact with people?
Mm-hmm.
How do I choose to spend my time? Once I've figured it out, I can't remember a time in which I didn't get it. But that process can be really energetically draining because it takes time.
Oh, sure.
To figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you would want to be working more with yoga teachers? Or do you not care?
So I'll give you a quick example, Flissy.
Yeah.
Recently, this happened in town. I won't name names, but because of regulatory challenges, I was right in between massage and yoga. I was integrating information rapidly from both communities, and I was doing what I do in crafting, and it worked well for clients. It worked well for me, but the problem was the massage therapist had a license. The yoga community didn't. Mm-hmm. And the massage therapist would get angry in my classes if somebody wasn't licensed and was taking a class. And I'm like, wait a second, it's not illegal for me to teach people. Like, I don't know how they're going to use it or, whatever.
Right.
But the massage therapists feel like they own touch. That's what it amounts to.
So other massage therapists don't like it when a yoga teacher is taking your class. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. To the point where they've had like shouting matches in my class. And I go, whoa, hold on. Shut up. Shut up. The challenge I'm having right now is for years, because I sort of dropped out, I have a private studio for the last 6 years. I had a private studio and was working at another facility for another 5 years prior to that. So I've been in isolation. I don't go take yoga classes. I find it difficult to connect because my practice organically just developed.
Yeah.
And it was a little challenging. And I'm sure you feel this. How picky are you about the classes you take?
Like, I can't even tell you. I haven't taken a yoga class since I quit Lifetime, when I was taking classes with my friends, and they know that I'm going to do my own thing, and everybody's fine with it. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
What I did was I contacted a local group. It was like Austin Yoga Teachers Community or something. And I said, listen, guys, I'm a massage therapist and yoga teacher. I teach Thai massage locally. I need to do some demo sessions for some video stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a free hour if you'll let me videotape it. A couple teachers contacted me. They came in. They completely lose their mind. They're like, dude, you have to go. Dude, you do not understand. The yoga community will buy this. Like, this is amazing. Like, why aren't you? And I go, okay. One of those teachers put me in touch with the lead instructor at a local studio. The local person contacts me. I give her a full session. It's 3 hours. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll just give you one so you can see what I do. And as soon as the session's over, she's like, Robert, you need to split curriculum immediately and go teach this to the yoga community. And I go, regulation. And she's like, change the name. Change the name and go teach it. She's like, I know you can figure out a way to go teach this to the yoga community, and do you see why I'm caught?
Yeah.
And then
massage therapists are gonna burn you.
And I've been trying to drag them, and they keep saying it's not massage, and I'm like, okay. I go online and I go, guys, I'm telling you right now, you better decide what you want to do for a living. Because I'm selling information now, and information scales worldwide.
Yeah.
Like, I don't check licenses at the door. Mm-hmm. What I can't quite figure out from both a legal, regulatory standards, I can't figure out who to sell what I'm doing, who to sell it to. Mm-hmm. Because immediately people say, no, this is illegal. You can't. And I'm like, I don't think the law says what you think it says.
No. I mean, I don't know the details of like doing body work state by state. It seems like I don't even know where to start with that, but I mean, just from what I observe in the yoga scene, like myofascial release, foam rolling, hands-on stuff, all that stuff is huge right now. It's super taking ground, and I feel like there is definitely room for your expertise to connect with yoga teachers. But I don't know, Leah, I don't know exactly what is the right way to word it, or the right way to offer it in a way that you're not gonna.
And here's the other piece. When that yoga teacher responds that way and says, okay, just split curriculum. I'm like, great. You want me to have 4 businesses?
2. You're gonna write an entire another thing.
And then here's the thing: when it comes to people, and this is that thing about fighting the way the reality is, it's packaging. Mm-hmm. If you get the right packaging, it's going to take off like a forest fire.
Sure.
And one of the things I keep telling massage therapists, because I get frustrated with like regulatory hurdles, is I've told massage therapists, and I know they don't see it. I'm like, guys, if you continue to kind of push back at me and say it's not massage, eventually the yoga community is going to pick it up. And when thousands of yoga teachers figure out what I'm teaching online, that I can do legally and scale it worldwide, it's going to look like Uber hit the taxi cab industry.
Yeah. Then, like, does it matter if you lose out on massage therapist money when you got yoga teachers banging down your door?
Flissy, I had somebody write me, I'm not lying, the other day from Mauritius. And I went, Mauritius, where the hell is Mauritius? My geography's not that good. Mauritius is an island off the coast of Madagascar on the eastern side of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, I don't know what the law is in Mauritius. But it wasn't my target market when I started teaching in Texas. I don't want to deny people information, but I'm not responsible for how people use that information.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on them.
I like working with the yoga community. I just haven't been able to figure out the right studio or group of yogis to be able to work with that I have some real resonance with.
Right.
That's hard for me to find.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also feel like the yoga community is a little bit of a tough nut to crack. It's just, it's so huge, but I know like there's communities for everybody out there. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out how to get in there and
Digging.
jiving with them.
Well, and for me, I'm a little bit of a curmudgeon, kind of a hermit these days. What it sounds like is like, well, Robert, just go to the party with 200 people and find the cool people. And I go, I'm just gonna stay home and watch Netflix.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I just cannot bring myself to take a yoga class anywhere. Like every 3 months or so, I'm like, I'm gonna see what else is out there. I'm gonna see what the yoga studios are doing, and I'm like, no, I just.
Yeah. I really think you're going a good direction. The link for your class, I think, is here on the video. I think it's above, actually.
Okay, yeah, it's yogasequencingsecrets.com. And then I'll also come back and make a link in the comments. I'm offering 2 free webinars in advance of the 6-week course so that people can have a link. It's free. You'll just sign up by email and I'll send you a link to the conferences.
The way that you're going, I think, is a good way to go. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because I feel like we have very kind of similar mindsets. And then I could see that you were kind of burgeoning as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to teach online, deal with some other information. No, what's that?
This is Launch by Jeff Walker. And he goes into detail about how to structure launching online content.
Cool.
So it's step by step of gathering, like growing your email list and the sequence of preparing to market a thing and then selling it, and it was awesome. It was a huge help because I'm like, there's definitely like things that I want to do and I'm not quite sure the context in which to get it started, and that the book was a huge help in giving a structure for what I'm doing.
The more we've grown, what I've noticed is I stopped looking for business advice in the massage community, 1.
Yeah.
2, I started looking at other markets and other kinds of industries and what they were doing, replicated pieces. And the whole process has been like building a car from a junkyard. And it keeps getting better and better, but people are like, dude, how did you learn that? And I'm like,
it's like, I'm making it up and I'm just going to give it a try.
Late night going, dude, I can connect MailChimp to and I'd go find a YouTube video or, do research for 30 minutes. There's layer after layer. And I like the trial process. I like when you figure something out, and then I realize this core concept and idea and infrastructure. I'm like, wow, I could apply this in all these different areas.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hired a business coach last year too, and that was a huge help.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like it was really just like in January that I was like, this thing that I'm doing, it's great and everything. I'm doing kind of the things that I want to do, but I'm just not doing them at the level that I want to be doing them. I'm not reaching as many people as I want to reach. And I'm not making as much money as I want to make. And I feel like, I don't know. I definitely don't have it all figured out yet, but I definitely have the drive to be like, I gonna make a new context for this, and then I'm gonna share more stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a ton I could say off camera, like if we were having a conversation about, I guess, advice. I like sort of the entrepreneurs, network, like helping people, small business owners get stuff done. The more I've looked at it, I've considered going into some sort of consulting for massage businesses, particularly like small spas with a little bit more of a
mhm.
budget. Because I see them, they're running an old business model. They're not even remotely picking up on newer technologies. Whereas you and I, we're like a jet ski. We're like, I can do what? I have an email list? It's like
Yeah.
we can be wildly creative in a way that I think is fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like our industries are being very slow to pick it up. There like there's a handful of people that are like making online stuff and being cool. But like I feel like uh there's just huge potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real reach and going from a business that was hands-on to then classes that scaled a little, and then retail scaled more, and then online like courses. I went, whoa, like
Mhm.
this is a really vast like difference. Digital reach is the one that's most confusing to my industry. They do
Mhm.
not understand the potential that it holds.
Mhm.
They're used to business within geographical boundaries.
Sure.
They're not used to selling digital info products to Mauritius.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like that's like a particular challenge for massage therapists because usually you are like that is how many that's how the model is. It's like
Mhm.
you're in your location and you service people within like 10 miles. Um, but like, why does it have to be that way?
There's
There's a
layers.
reason, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there's layers.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, as I work with therapists to help them, when I went through that Kristen Lumsden, that little apprenticeship, the first talk was just to kind of get a feel for where she was at, where she wants to be, what kind of challenges she's going to have, so I can get a view of the landscape to figure out how to most help her. And I go, she has no idea what we're about to do to her business.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's gonna look back a year from now and go, Robert, because it's like it's a thing as a yoga teacher where you change somebody's life. It's not, we didn't just teach them a breathing exercise.
Yeah.
We didn't teach them just where to put their arm. They're like, no, I'm a different person now. Like
Mm-hmm.
working in somebody's business to help them figure out how to do the business side so that it runs and allows them to make revenue that they can reinvest in other ways is going to be really amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I want more people to be doing it. Like I really feel like just like there is this cycle of, you know, our industry being devalued, I feel like we could flip it around to be like more experts, more people making more money, more quality, and it just gets like everybody just gets better. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of the things, that abundance mindset. People go, but if you teach Thai massage, then it's not going to be special anymore. And I go, the marketplace just gets bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I see people in Facebook groups being really precious about their reach. Like, oh, you can't tell people about your thing because you're gonna take them away from me. Um, and I'm like, it's information. Like, do you not want people just know more,
Yeah.
or you just want to keep them? Because it's like,
From a business standpoint, do I think you're competition with me? No. Like you're having 2 free webinars. If they run that through all my social media, my email list, how do I lose?
right? It's
No.
it's nothing.
No.
Yeah.
No. What it does is it's like we're doing favors for each other.
Right.
you're exposing your audience to my stuff and vice versa. And then a year from now, you go, listen, do you want to do a retreat together? And I go, oh no, that'd be horrible. Is it going to be on the beach? Do I have to drink like fruity drinks? And
we can do mountains if you're not into the beach, but personally, I prefer the beach.
I'm more of a beach guy right now. I mean, I'm not saying no to mountains, but beach is normally kind of tropical is where I think I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the marketplace gets bigger, and I think also it just develops more and more nuance. It's like I said, the trademark we lost for Reboot. Part of the reason I liked the name was it seemed to capture this update, this ongoing transition and change where we make it better. And the number one goal is to usually put myself out of business.
Me too. Yeah, I'm like, I want to be obsolete as a yoga teacher. I want you to not need me anymore because you have gotten expert at doing your own thing.
Which is a near guarantee that you are always going to have yoga students.
Yeah. Like, that's nice if you want to come back, but you don't need me anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. How long have we been at it? Do you know?
I don't have any idea. I can't see the time on my phone because we're talking. Oh, it's, like over an hour.
Okay.
We've been at it.
Any closing thoughts? Anything you would like to share with the audience?
No, I would just say, like, just go be better. Learn as much as you can.
And then your website?
My website is yogawithflissy.com, or Yoga Sequencing Secrets is where you can find details about my online course.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this Facebook Live with me. If you want to do more of these in the future, just let me know if you have like specific topics you want to discuss. I'm really open to doing these. It doesn't take a lot of time. And I think it's good content. It also gives me a chance to connect with you again.
Yeah, of course. I love chatting with you.
Cool. Well, listen, I'll talk to you soon. You have a great night.
All right. Thanks. You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.